Imagine being that guy reading that article 30 years later, realizing this guy ruined my life.
Mm-hmm. One of the saddest stories in the book is a guy named Wayne Ritchie, and George White did the same thing to him. But Wayne Ritchie he was a guard at Alcatraz for a while. This is in San Francisco. And he had gone to a Christmas party at the post office there in San Francisco, just for, he was a US Marshal too, so just the US Marshals, whatever. And that night, he was drinking, some of the punch at this party, and he started feeling very strange. He started seeing colors. The room started spinning around him. He ended up going upstairs to where his locker was and, getting his things. And he wound up going home because he didn't, know what was going on. When he got home, his girlfriend was upset at him. She said that, I'm not happy here. I want to move to New York. And so when he's in this fog, he decides, I know how to set my life on track. I'm going to grab a couple of my service revolvers. I'm going to go to a bar downtown. I'm going to rob it, and I'm going to give the money to my girlfriend so she can go to New York and she'll be happy, and so she won't break up with me. So when he's in this fog, he ends up doing all this. He gets his revolvers. He goes to a bar downtown. He, basically has a stick up, give me all the money in the till. A quick thinking patron who's sitting next to him basically gets the mug of beer and smashes it over his head so he falls down. The cops come later. They arrest him. He's in jail. After a day or two, he kind of sobers up and kind of awakens from this fog, and he doesn't know what happened to him. At that point, he ends up losing his job, losing his friends. For the next 30, 40 years, he doesn't know what happened until in 1999, he was reading the Washington Post, and he saw an article describing MKUltra, and two things in particular stuck out to him. One was George White, whom he knew back in the days when he was a US Marshal, and the other one was a description of LSD. And so Wayne Ritchie starts putting all this together and thinking, I think George White gave me LSD that night at the holiday, party and spiked the punch bowl, and that's what happened. And it turns out, you can see in this book, in the photo section, the last photo in the photo section of my book, it's a image of George White's diary from the day that Wayne Ritchie went insane, and it says Federal Building Christmas Party. So he was there at the Christmas party.
Wow. Imagine being that guy reading that article 30 years later, realizing this guy ruined my life.
Mm-hmm. So he ended up suing the CIA, but the judge said that he couldn't prove that he had been dosed with drugs, so they couldn't rule in his favor, and so that was it.